Welcome to the Utah Dream Center website. The task description is this. As a high school advisor, you help students apply to college and access scholarships and financial aid. You believe some of your students are undocumented, however, you cannot ask citizenship status. The Utah Dream Center provides training to help you learn more about these students and how to support their college dreams. Your task is to recognize misconceptions about undocumented students, define the term undocumented, and identify different aspects of a student's story that will help you to provide guidance on college and financial aid options. So we're going to begin by clicking the right arrow. Why does it matter? The Dream Center in the Office of Undergraduate Studies works holistically with undocumented students and mixed status families from college access to graduation. The goal of these trainings is to provide a framework for how to help serve students from these backgrounds. And then I'll click the right arrow. What you'll learn. The purpose of this training is to provide examples of the types of stories you may encounter as you become an ally for undocumented students. You'll learn the definition of the term undocumented and hear examples from students to help you identify the common thread among undocumented students hoping to attend college. You may often see a monarch as a symbol of your students. The monarch butterfly's migration patterns are a common symbol of the plight of undocumented students. Display it proudly as an ally. And then I'll click the right arrow. What comes to mind when you hear the word undocumented? And then I'll click the right arrow. Despite the Library of Congress eliminating the use of the term illegal when referring to individuals of undocumented experiences, the term still is pervasive in the media and creates a strong negative and incorrect stereotype about undocumented students and their families. As a result, many see undocumented people as the following stereotypes. And then I'll click the right arrow to see the stereotypes. Many people think this is how we came to this country. And I'll click the right arrow. Many believe this is what we are doing. And then I'll click the right arrow. In fact, many of us came to this country this way on travel visas and via airplanes. And then I'll click the right arrow. And this is who we are, individuals who are wanting to pursue our dreams. And I'll click the right arrow. From a strictly legal standpoint, the term undocumented immigrant referred to foreign nationals residing in the U.S. without legal immigration status. It includes persons who entered the U.S. without inspection and proper permission from the U.S. government and those who entered with a legal visa. Consider the importance of using the correct term. And then I'll click continue. Select the correct definition for the term undocumented. So if I go in and I select the incorrect one, it will tell me that it's incorrect and why it's incorrect, and then to try again. So then I'll click on the correct one. And when I get it correct, it will say that is correct. And while individuals may vary in how they arrive in the U.S., the term undocumented includes all individuals without a legal status. And then I'm ready to move on, and I'll click the right arrow. On the following slides, you'll hear stories that will be very similar to the stories you or your students may encounter. And then I'll click the right arrow. Meet our students. And so there's 3 students, and we're going to learn their stories: Javier, Soyan, and Ofa. And down below it says click on Javier to begin. My name is Javier, and I've lived in Spanish Fork, Utah since I was 1 year old. I migrated with my parents from Oaxaca, Mexico, but have only ever known life in the United States. I qualified for DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and received the status in 2016 while I was a sophomore in high school, and had my status renewed in 2018. I'm graduating high school and I hope to attend college, but I don't have a lot of financial resources available at the moment. So then I'll click the right arrow. And here's his key information. He's 18 years old. He was born in Oaxaca, Mexico. He migrated to the U.S. in 2002, and his schooling was exclusively in Utah. So that's the key facts about Javier. As I click the right arrow, I now have the assessment where I can identify 3 facts that stand out about Javier. So again, if I click on an incorrect one, it will say that is incorrect and try again. So he arrived at a young age, he attended K through 12 and wants to attend college. And then it tells me correct. And then the right arrow will appear and I can go on. And then this is a summary of Javier's story. Growing up, I never thought much about attending college. When our family arrived here, we lived with my uncle, and we all worked in the family business. Both my parents graduated with degrees in science in Mexico and had great jobs, but no one in my family had attended college in the United States. In fact, we didn't ever talk about it. One day, my cousin took me to a Utah basketball game. From that day on, I knew I wanted to attend college at the U, but I wasn't sure how that could become a reality. And then I'll click the right arrow and we'll go to our next story of So Yun. My name is So Yun and I was born in Gwangju, South Korea, and I lived there until I was 16 years old. My mother migrated to the United States 3 years before I did, first to New York before moving to Utah to find work. She worked long enough to earn enough money to bring me and my brother to the United States. I started high school as a junior and wanted to attend college in social work, but my visa is expiring when I graduate from high school. Now I'll click the right arrow. Here's key information about So Yun. She's 16, born in Gwangju, South Korea. She migrated to the US in 2019, and her schooling was partially in Utah starting in 11th grade, and her status is a B2 visitor visa. So click the right arrow, and here's the assessment for So Yun. What are the similarities and differences between Javier and So Yun's story? So I'm going to click on the similarities. They were both born outside the US. They're both DACA eligible and B2 visitor visa. And then it tells me that I'm correct, and I can move on to the next screen by clicking the right arrow. My name is Ofa, and I was only 2 months old when my parents migrated our family from Nuku'alofa, Tonga to Salt Lake City in 2002. We immigrated with B2 visitor visas, but when I turned 5 years old, we had overstayed our visitor visa status. I have been enrolled in school in Utah since pre-K my whole life. I am in my senior year of high school and plan on studying urban ecology at the University of Utah. So now I'll click the right arrow. And at any time I can click the back arrow to go back to a previous assessment or to read the story again. So the key information about Ofa is that she's 17. She was born in Nuku'alofa, Tonga. She migrated to the US in 2002, and her schooling was exclusively in Utah. Her status was that she was an overstayed visa. So then I'll click on the right arrow. So what are the goals of each student? Click all that apply. So if I click on is a US citizen, oops, that's not correct, so I can start all over. So let's see, save money for college and wants to attend college, and then it lets me know that I'm correct. And then I'm ready to move on with the right arrow. And then here's the summary of Ofa's story. I grew up in Utah and it's home to me. I hope to someday attend college so I can study ecology and learn about the ways that the organisms and the environment in Utah interact and rely upon each other. My dream has always been to attend the University of Utah. So what we learned, using the term undocumented is the most appropriate when referring to students with mixed immigration statuses. Students come from a variety of backgrounds but can also share similar experiences to each other. Many are just like other students wanting to plan for the future and attend college. And then I'll click the right arrow. You are on your way to becoming an undocu ally. Congrats! And that concludes our walkthrough of the Utah Dream Center. Thank you.